Testing. All right, you guys got me now? Okay. If audio is not high enough, just let me know, guys. Go ahead and get us some lime now. Okay, let me go ahead and bump this up some. Okay. Hopefully these audio settings are better. I do apologize. We're just kind of getting things broken in here. We've done a couple test runs, but clearly not enough. Okay. Do I need to adjust any other settings from here on now, or do you think we're going to be good? We got a little bit ways to go on the getting some other mods set up into FS25. I imagine you're going to see a lot of stuff come up in the next week. Thank you very much, Scurvy. Yeah, we may be a little bit underpowered here with the tractor. What do you guys think? Yeah, I hope we bring plenty of mods. I'm really hoping I'm pulling for more red. As you guys know, custom mining is kind of a collective of a bunch of guys. Some John Deere, some red. You kind of go across the board, but I'm a red guy. Really, I really wish that precision farming would have came from the get-go. My background is in the agronomy side, so I kind of get nerded out over stuff like that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm already really missing the GPS mod. I hope that one comes quick. The one thing I'll give it, it probably doesn't seem like it on a bunch of third-person stuff, but first person is really where you can feel that ground deformation. Whether it be plowing or going over plows or ruts or anything like that. Feeling the whole machine bounce, that's really where it shows and shines. I guess I haven't figured out steering assist yet. Somebody want to walk me through that side of stuff? Yeah, compaction being a bigger part of having to plow, and you can probably start strategizing Instead of having to plow an entire field, you can just go back over where your common spots are that you've gone over again and again and again for true compaction. Ooh, I got you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Scurvy. I'm going to change my keybind. I screwed up trying to get that figured out. Being a red guy, I do hate the fact that they utilize John Deere's auto steer button. Go ahead and change my keybind here. But didn't save it. Gosh dang it. There we go. So what's some brands you guys would like to see coming down the pipeline? New Holland, CNH. Come on, Fob. Ooh, the Kinsey carts would be a good one. Because they've got the base game ones, but they aren't really expanded on great. Although I really thought the Dimco stuff really did well. I do really like the way it sets up all the headlands and stuff. That is a lot nicer. I don't have to manually drive that the whole time. I definitely don't disagree. We're missing small planners. The 2150s has an awesome planner series, but I kind of wouldn't hate to see us go to like a 1250, 1255, some older stuff. So I really think that's a market that's getting missed a lot, is all the older equipment, my personal opinion. It did seem like ATCO equipment was coming on strong there. Uh, It did sound like, it seemed like the ATCO stuff was coming on very, very strong there at the end of the FS22. I feel like there's been a lot of really good John Deere planters, especially on 22. I feel like probably the 1790, there wasn't a good representation of that, but at the same time there wasn't a good like 2140 either. I was really hoping for the 2160 to come out, but we ended up missing that. I was really surprised that nobody ended up doing like a 4905 on 22. Not the. I'm talking like a 12 and a 16 row. There was just that 24 row that came from the base game. I'd personally like to see some Kraus stuff, like accelerators, gladiators. I really thought that gladiator strip till with that 715 was going to be an awesome setup. Yeah, cat wouldn't be bad. It seems like the ones we had in 19 were kind of copies and over from my bad. The ones we had in 22 were copies over from 19 or converts. Let's see here. Where do I want to park this thing? Where's it going to fit in there? Yeah, man, I would love to have a good strip till and anhydrous equipment in the game. As well as being able to do 28 in side dress. I think it looked like somebody was kind of really starting to tweak anhydrous there towards the end. Like, it irks me that the side dress bar, well, not side dress bars, my bad. It irks me that whenever you do anhydrous, it shows as a cultivator instead of like the individual strips, because that's really how it gets laid out, as more of a strip. So that kind of irks me that's just shown up as a cultivator. The other thing I'd like to see is, like I said, on the strip till, and then like the reduction of fertilizers you have to use because of that is pretty nice. Yeah, there wasn't anything on the 5000 series at all. And those 9610 maximizers in real life were pretty awesome combines. So I'm a red guy, but I'll give those combines, and then the 9770s were probably my favorite deer. Let's see. So I'm going to do a little bit different. We'll go at an angle. I do really like how the ground deformation, it really makes you have to plan out how you're going to do your fields a little bit better. So like there's no more just doing inrows and then coming back and then doing all your mill stuff and just forgetting your inrows. You have to actually be strategic in the way you're going to do things. So like for instance here, I'll probably just skip a row. I need to slow down my speed so I don't overshoot so bad. I would like to see some slightly bigger base game cultivators and like smaller equipment, because it's like either super small stuff or way too large of stuff. It doesn't seem like there's a great in between. I think I might be wrong with the name. I thought it was LBJ. They tried to do a strip till, and I mean the equipment looked great, but the functionality of it just wasn't. The game isn't created for it. I thought we got pretty close with the whole row crop, but I think there was still just a little bit more that had to get done with that, and I don't know if 22 was going to be able to handle it as an engine. Probably should have done a couple more Indras on it, honestly. I don't hate the thought of Salford one bit. Alrighty. I still can't believe that we don't have like a Kraus accelerator in game though. I would have thought throughout all the iterations and everything, maybe it's not as big around as what I believe it to be. But I can tell you there is a bunch of them in my area. Whew. I'll give it to Giants though. This game sounds so much better than previous iterations. Being able to hear like the shifter and everything on the older tractors, I'm a big fan of. Swing over here and grab this right here. I personally have no idea on how long it's going to be for the Giants editor. I'd be curious. I don't remember how long it took for them to get the last one out. I wouldn't say that it won't be very long, because they know that this game cannot run well with out modders. And interest will die out pretty quick if you don't have mods, in my opinion. Yeah, I think they took out the S780 because they put the new S700s in. I don't. Where's the combines? Yeah, they did the new 7 series because the S780s are the prior series. So I don't like how they pull out, you know, older equipment for newer equipment and vice versa. I just wish they'd kind of keep things up. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if anybody else has noticed it too, but playing in first person feels a lot smoother than what it has in years prior. I mean, years prior, I would never play first person. I'd always play third person. But this one just seems really smooth. Yes, right now I'm on ultra settings. Okay. We're going to go knock out this airfield and probably go ahead and advance it up, and we'll start doing some combining. I am super excited about the AF11. I don't think I... God, that'd be really hard to do with the clipping issues you'd have with hands and shifting. It would be cool. It'd help on the immersion, but I'd be curious how much the game would lag because of that. Dang. Is it just autofill the field for you? I'd like that. It even sets it up in the angle for you on the previous field. That is nice. That's a small detail that I'm a big fan of right there. I give it to you, Fab. The AF11 and the CR11 are nearly identical besides paint. The AF10, though, is an entirely different combine. Same horsepower, but it's a big single rotor that is 3 feet longer, I think, than the regular case, like 9260s or whatever it's going to be. So I'd be curious if anybody does an AF10. It wouldn't take very much. Basically just stickers on the side of it. But it'd be cheaper and it wouldn't be the same thing as New Holland. Now, all of our mods are done in-house. We make them. So on the AF11 versus an AF10, the depends on the crop. So your cereal crops, so wheat, rye, things like that nature, is better through a twin rotor machine, but crops like soybeans and corn are better through a single rotor machine. The AF10 would be a better option in the in the USA and the Midwest than what the AF11 and the CR11 would be. That's where the CR series is missing out, is they don't have the ability to go back down to a single rotor and be cheaper and all that good stuff. I'll be ready to get some. I will be very ready to get some more American maps and doing a whole full series starting from nothing on one of those. About a year from now, Farm Sim is going to be very, very fun with all the different mods that we're going to get. Scurvy, I'm on PC. It just mirrors. The mirrors not appear to be doing very well. I do really enjoy actually being able to hear the implement do work based off of where you're looking at. So like you can hear the implement better when you're looking over here, but you hear the tractor more over here. So yeah, there's some little details I'm really digging. Yes, the 4X maps. That's kind of. I feel like 4X is the way to go on map size. Not that 16 or A or anything like that isn't fun. It's just you end up getting a better balance because you start getting bigger. You need course play, so you get more equipment, and unless you just like running, trucks and seed tenders and stuff, it kind of takes a little bit of the fun away. You turn into more of a manager. Versus at least with the smaller stuff, you can still feel like you're doing it. What kind of streams do you think you guys would like to see? More ultra realistic, start from zero and work our way up, or like to see cattle or more animal based? We can look for you. I don't think that new deer tractor's on there. The largest one is the Case. The deer, it's a 9RX, and it looks like it's just up to 640. Oops. Yeah, good thing we were over when we didn't hit that telephone pole. Could have been bad. Yeah, I think for starting maps, this might be one of the best they've had. I mean, it's not super small. I mean, there's a lot more trees. and like around the middle of the map and more townish than I think it probably should have been. But it'll probably give the map a more alive feel. Yeah, Fob, I did answer you. I think it's going to be a good map too. But I feel like they've got it clustered up a little bit more than what I'd like with towns, and they could have gone for some bigger fields, and there's a lot of trees, it appears. But I think for a starting map, it's probably the best one they've had, in my opinion. Go ahead. Yeah, I don't disagree. That's probably going to be my first thing that I end up doing, is combining 3, 4, 5 and having a decent field. Some of them are going to be hard to combine now. 24, 23, 25 will probably turn into a pretty decent field. 50, 41, 40. Hey, I guess you're probably right. There's going to be a lot of them that get merged, and it's going to be decent. It is probably nice that the fields are a little bit oblonged and everything, so it does make actually running it better. I'll definitely agree with you, Angry Churro, on auto drive. I wish that what do I want to say? Course play would have allowed you to run the combine and have a grain cart delivered to you. I mean, golly, the combine's probably the coolest thing, and it probably gets driven the least amount of any implement in the entire game. And yeah, Jason, I think we definitely have big plans for 25. Hoping the streaming allows us to be able to put more resources towards the mods, and then we can maybe pump out more mods than what we have in the past, possibly. Let's see what's on the radio.
best things never change, they just get better.
Yeah, I may have to turn that
Hardy's
radio
original
down
bag,
some.
just $6.99.
Actually, I guess I probably better not do that. I think they get pretty strict with the copyrights on the music side. But really, I mean, of course, if they would have allowed us to run combines, you could sit there and run 2 combines and a couple grain carts, and with auto drive running the semis, that would make larger farms that much more enjoyable, or larger maps, I should say. Gosh dang, I got to sit here talking about all the other things, and I got distracted. I need to finish all my other runs still. I'm going to have to end up redoing all my end rows, gosh dang it. Somebody should have yelled at me and told me I needed to do better and pay attention here. Yeah, I was gonna say it's just a 1x map, but I feel like the field seems smaller. It feels like it's a bigger map than maps in the past, but that's gonna end up getting hit. I'm not sure what's going to end up being the very first mod that ends up coming out. I'd like for it to be the early riser planner. I think our first new mod that we've not had previous release, I think it's going to end up being the 2160. It was pretty close on 22. And that'll be an exciting one, and that'll be a really good pairing for that 715. And Jason, I don't farm. I mean, been around farming my whole life. Been a hired hand several times. Got family that farms. Currently, I work for a company that's in agriculture. So. Oh, I don't know why I forgot about the baler. The baler's gonna be coming out very fast. I can't give exact times though, guys. I apologize. No, I really do feel like there's probably. I didn't think there was going to be a big difference between 22 and 25 until I start playing, and I think it might be, as far as like gameplay right here, probably the biggest leap between a farm sim initially off the cusp that I felt. Yeah, I hear you on that, Joe. The thing is, whenever you start doing configurations, is you can get lost in the amount of stuff you add pretty quick, and it's pretty easy to miss something that you're wanting to do. You gotta be very detailed whenever you're trying to come up with everything. And once you send that final product out, a lot of the updates are good, but stuff like that, I think there's got to be a pretty good reason to have to do an update. I appreciate the love. Um, Custom modding is a collective of guys, but I'll let them know that you appreciate it. Um, as far as the G5, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's something we can definitely say. Do you, Angry Churro? Uh, so you're telling me that John Deere stuff breaks too? Logan, some thoughts on the game so far. Has been pretty impressed with it. I honestly didn't think that it was going to be as good and detailed as what it is. I didn't think that the jump up between uh, 22 to 25, I thought it was going to be kind of like it was on 19 and 22, to where uh, you kind of didn't need to make the switch over to really feel like anything was better until mods got released. But I think right now, as it sits, it's worth making the jump. As I was discussing, you have to kind of be with like the ground deformation. You have to be on top and planning and how you're going to do the field on plowing or cultivating or anything like that. That way, you're not leaving a bunch of extra ruts that you're going to go bouncing across the whole time. So, like as you can see right there, I'm leaving ruts, and if I didn't have to come back and hit those 2 rounds, those ruts are going to stay there. So the what's in game as far as equipment wise is pretty lacking so far, but I don't know, that'll all come along and I think it's going to do pretty good. But no, we've not released the 2160 yet. I am very excited for that thing though. It's going to be a pretty good match for that 715. I don't know what part of the world you're in, Angry Churro, but I'd be curious to see if you guys got hit by the solar flares pretty hard or not. I think at this point in time on 22 mods, if something's broken, we'll probably push an update to it for a little bit. But I think our sole focus will probably be on the mods for 25. Thank you very much, SNS. Let's see here. So the amount of John Deere guys, Angry Tour, that said that they never had even the slightest bit of issues and all this stuff were basically just blowing smoke up people's butts. So what I'll say, that whole right to repair thing, Joe, is really kind of blown out of proportion. Um, I don't think guys were in that bad a shape personally, as far as like not being able to repair any of their stuff. This is just my opinion. Yeah, you're gonna have to have a computer to clear codes if you want to get things to run and work correctly. But I mean, that's the same thing on a car. Like if your car has codes on it, you have to utilize somebody else to clear that code, or buy your own stuff to clear the code. But that's my personal take on it. And yes, the new GPS is very impressive in my opinion. I'm a huge fan of it. What I also really like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you have your header up next to a header cart, you set it on there, it'll automatically click over and it'll lock the header in. Huge fan of that. I do really miss precision farming. I love having the yield monitor and everything, and a variable yield instead of just it being up. That's going to be X amount or whatever. And like I said, Joe, I wouldn't have been the one that would have been asking for anything off that A600, but how was it? I'm not around forage harvesters myself very much at all. Um, I'm around more row crop. Yeah. And SNS, the GPS is super easy to get set up for people. Like, I think that might have been one of the issues, like in the past with GPS and course play and auto drive, is if you hadn't used it, it could be a little bit intimidating and a little bit complex. But here, I mean, it just makes it so easy. It doesn't give you a lot of options, so you can't really mess anything up. Does anybody know if you're able to actually combine fields with plows now? I don't remember. I felt like it had to be a mod. Or was that just for cultivators in FS22? I cannot remember currently. I think you can do it. You can do allow create fields with plow still. Be honest with you, I'm not I would like to see a 60 series come out. I don't think it would take a whole bunch of work to make it from the 250 to the 260 series. The biggest changes in those combines was essentially the fact that we were going to have a dual Pro 1200 displays. So you could kind of take the cab of an 11 that's in game and put it in, but do some different sticker options. But that's definitely going to be up to the team to decide on that, though. That's the thing, though, is all the equipment anymore is going to be more electronically driven. That's technology, right? So the higher horsepower, better performance, more fuel economy, and everything like that is all electronic based. So unfortunately, that's probably just be the way that's the future, right? It's going to be more complicated. You're better off understanding electronic components and actually turning your wrench anymore. The JD baler with the accumulator may actually be our first mod that comes out for FS25. It's going to be between that and the 2160, but that part of CM is not my department, so I can't give a great answer on that. Probably just end up putting my foot in my mouth. I think it's the way that you're talking about the USA row crops. You guys probably utilize more floater tires, or I guess what's your typical tire configuration there, Joe Mama? And just a heads up, guys, I think I'm probably going to roll on for another 17 minutes or so. Probably take it to 5:30 my time. And then we'll probably end up ending the stream. I will probably get back on streaming. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I'd like to. My times are just a little bit variable besides on weekends. Weekends will be a little bit more consistent. And then next week and the following week, I've got a little bit more time off, so I should be on quite a bit more. Hopefully by then we got some more mods that are out that we can play with. The other cool thing I think is going to be is doing showcases. We're gonna, before our mods actually end up getting released to Mod Hub, we will be able to do showcases and put them on Twitch so you guys can see it. And we should have YouTube videos as well. So Twitch and YouTube. Let's see here. I think we're going to do straw swath. And I think we'll probably go ahead and end up baling the straw. We got to try to get all that starting out money that we can, right? So the question's going to be, is do we lease a baler or do we buy a baler? Let's see here. And then do we go square baler or do we go round baler? That's What do you guys want? Do you guys want to see a round baler or you want to see a square baler first? That was weird. It took away my thing. Let's check Horizon. It'd be all the way over here. It'd be scrolling down to objects and then category bales, and then that's how you're going to be able to get your straw. I got you on the A400s. Those are, in my opinion, the John Deere 4020 gets a lot of love. But in my opinion, that 8400 John Deere is the best John Deere tractor that they have ever made. So SNS, I take it that's one vote to do a square bale. What's everybody else thinking? We thinking round bales, square bales? The thing I like about square balers is the fact that you can just keep running versus with the round balers you got to stop, right? So it's a little bit slower. All good, Horizon. I'm glad that we were able to get you figured out, bud. I do like the straw dispersion. Because like it's not just in a pile, you can kind of see there just to the right and to the left of it that there's some material still there. Because windrows aren't very clean, right? So small details like that, I really enjoy on a game. I guess Logan, you say how's the U.S. version of tractors? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about the tire setup, or are you talking about what's in game? I take it that you're talking about this International, like the old Scout truck. I've not gotten to mess with it yet, to be honest with you. This is really my first go around with this game thus far. I know we had somebody else that got the game a little bit earlier and got access to it, but I do think Giants realized that how big of a thing row crop was there whenever it came out. I think there's a lot of interest in it. I mean, the closer we get to real life, the happier everybody is, right? I think what's so far on Mod Hub, it's a lot of the exact same mods that are already on the current Giants in-game Mod Hub. um, it's because it's not released yet. There's nothing that people like the Giants editor isn't released for people to actually do mods. So any mods that you see from now until the Giants editor comes out is basically either a scam of some sorts or a virus. So I would steer very clear of anything until we're sure that Giants editor is out. I just realized I've yet to even be inside the combine yet. I wonder why I did that. Here we go. There we go. Now I finally switched over to that line. Before we get too carried away, we'll go ahead and grab our wagon. Where did I see that wagon at? Man, it's such a small wagon to be up with the screen cart. Ooh, I guess I've not noticed that yet, is being able to see how much of what is filled up now. I'm a big fan of that. To be honest with you guys, so I stayed away from a lot of videos and that in live streams that other people were doing for the simple fact of being able to be surprised by some of the items that you guys are. Like, yeah, I saw like some of the stuff scrolling through, but I didn't want it ruined for me because I wanted you guys to see a genuine reaction to the stuff. they even got actual sounds for trailers and whatnot. I am thinking about possibility of either later next week or the week following, doing like a 24-hour marathon challenge to see how big of a farm I can create within a 24-hour span without doing any sort of cheating stuff and doing like actual legitimate farming. See if I can't take over the map within 24 hours. Is that something you think guys would like to see be done? As that sits right now, I'm just trying to find out, good content that you guys are going to want to see and enjoy. And last thing I want to do is waste anybody's time, so I want to be sure that's something people will enjoy. Wow. See, I just first time seeing this is how if you run over swaths, how it deforms those. That's a big fan of that right there. I would be really curious. What is that? Something there right there. Um, Now, I guess what I was trying to say is I'll be really curious to see if running over your swath affects the yield you get off your hay bale. That'll be maybe an interesting test we can do at some point in time, guys, because I'm not opposed to doing some trial and error and testing things out. But alrighty, guys, it's kind of been 2 hours on my end, so gonna keep this one a little bit briefer. I'd really appreciate you guys' support and follows and the amount of views. Hopefully we're gonna get some more in the future and do some more live streams. We'll try to keep you guys posted. So